Standing on the top now. No, nothing can move you.
Cori Bush made some statements that I agree with her about concerning 4th of July. See, understand this. 4th of July, people celebrate it and don't even know anything about it. You're celebrating the freedom of one aspect of American society. It's not our freedom. It's not the Native American freedoms. It's not Black freedom. It's not even Latino freedom. It's not even, no, it's the freedom against colonizers, or what they say, settlers decide to flee England to come here and practice their religious belief. England wasn't going around stopping people from practicing their religious belief, okay? But they claim they came here to practice their religious belief. No, they came here to a land that was already filled with people, a lot of natives, and a lot of natives were Black. They were dark-skinned native that, you're dark-skinned, you consider Black. I'm not Black. My color of my skin is caramel complected, but you're going to call me a Black man anyway. So when you come to this, they came to this country, and this country already had caramel or copper tone or even dark skin, almost blacker than Black Native Americans. Some light, some copper tone, some with kinky hair, some with straight hair. They came to this land, didn't treat us how most of the people blacks got treated in England. Treat us pretty much like crap, like property. We were property. We did have some civilized Black people that were doing, that they allowed to roam around society, but that doesn't mean anything. Majority of them were under bondage. To just put it plain, 4th of July is just a celebration of people in this country, the so-called settlers, aka colonizers. 4th of July is just basically the colonizers in the United States telling the colonizer in Great Britain, I had enough of you. We doing good over here. We making more money than you. We can do our own trading. We can do our own capitalism here in this country. We don't need to be doing it for you. We can make our own money. We got a free workforce, something you ain't got to the level that we got. We got a free workforce. We got that coming in like I don't know what through the Atlantic trade. We got that going on strong. We closer to the islands where we can get sugar and where we can get different papayas and America alone can do business with the conquistadors. We can work with the conquistadors. We can do business. We can help more slaves get down to the West Indies. We don't need you, England. Of course, England going to try their best to try to stop us. But the purpose of July the 4th is not basically we need our freedom, we fought for our freedom, and, it's the American way and blah, blah, blah. God bless America. No. It was capitalism. We want to get rich by any means necessary. And if we have to step on the head of our so-called motherland, Great Britain, and we have to battle against them to the death, we are going to be the cheap capitalists here. We are going to be the number one colonizers in the entire world, the United States government. So they went to war. They declared war against Great Britain. Or Great Britain didn't want to have it, so of course Great Britain going to come in and stop it. And guess who they enlisted to fight with them because they didn't have enough people at that time? The dark skin, Black, copper tone, brown skin, natives, the slaves. And what do we get for it? After we done helped them win that war and they get their independence and they write the Declaration of Independence as a result of that and go to war behind that, still brutalizing Native Americans. Rob, cheat, steal, murder, give them blanket with disease in it, still beat and bruise black people to do free labor. Thank you, Craig, for the super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Now, Cori Bush goes on, and she makes a statement similar to mine. Let's go take a look at this statement. And it is storming out here. I'm telling you, storming out here. Let me see if I can find that. I just had it. All right, so Cori Bush faced backlash over July the 4th comment. Now, this is BET. Used to be a black-owned, but it's not. Just like that other network that you're hearing now, the so-called black channel, the black news channel. Man, we're going to talk about that channel. That channel is not black at all. That channel is owned by the guy who owned the Jacksonville Jaguars and one of my favorite wrestling companies, AEW, Tony Khan, the Khan family. And J.C. Watts, a black Republican. But we'll get into that another day. I wouldn't trust nothing coming from the black news channel, nothing. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Cori Bush faced backlash over July 4th comment. U.S. Representative Cori Bush Ignite, by the way, Cori Bush ran as a activist. She is an activist coming from the Black Lives Matter movement in the midst of the Michael Brown situation and Ferguson and all that. She come out of that. She ran to make systemic changes on behalf of that. Criminal justice and all that. Now, don't get me wrong. I stay on Cori Bush just like I stay on Jamal Bowman. Just like I stay on AOC. And I go and call them out. They come in town, I'm in their face. AOC wouldn't even endorse Cori Bush. Wouldn't even endorse. This is what Cori Bush said. When they say the 4th of July is about American freedom, remember this, freedom, the freedom they're referring to is for white people. Now, people lost their freaking mind. And why? Why did people lose their freaking mind? Because she told the freaking truth. That was not our war because we didn't get nothing out of it. That was not Native Americans, which Native Americans come all colors, including blacks. What she said was true. And they lose their mind on Twitter, and we're going to go down there. It received more than 31,000 likes. 36. Let me add mines up there. All right. Hours later, she fleshed out her thoughts in a follow-up post, sharing her views of what freedom looked like for black people. Now, let me tell you something, Cori. You ain't got to follow up with that. Just tell it like a TI is and stay firm on it. Her lists include ending slavery permitted under the 13th Amendment. Slavery is still going on. They're using the prison system under the 13th Amendment. You need to go look at that movie, The 13th Amendment, on Netflix. Now, there's other movies I could refer to you, but just go to that. The war on drugs, police violence, the apartheid system of healthcare, housing, and education in America. We are the experts of our own liberation, Bush continue, and we won't stop until it's won. Now, let's look at this. This is the follow-up tweet from her. We know what our own freedom look like. Well, baby, this is not the black agenda. We know what our freedom look like. End slavery permit under the 13th Amendment. In the war on drugs. In the police violence. In the healthcare, housing, education, apartheid. Baby, that's just, those things right there are just crumbs compared to what we want. And one of the things you did not mention was economic equality for whites from white society. Not asking to get more or to dominate, equal. Why? Because We are not immigrants. Some of us was already here. Some of us was brought here through the slave trade. We're not immigrants. We got that people worked us to the bone, free labor. You owe. The wealth of this country, the massive wealth that this country has, equal portion of it need to be transmitted to the black community, in specific, those who are tied up to trade, to the slave trade in America. We got a lot of black people saying we need not to focus on just cash payment. Nobody ever said anything about focusing on a cash payment. Cash payment is just one thing that need to be done because you gave cash payment to everybody else. But that's only one thing. Cori Bush, those things you talk about, those are just some of the lowest on the totem pole of what we're looking for. The number one thing that we have in our agenda is equality when it comes to economics, when it comes to that money. One of the number one strangleholds that the dominant society have over the entire society in a whole is money, land, property, all that kind of stuff. So you need to go a little bit further than that. And then let me continue to go into what she was saying. We're experts of our own liberation, and we won't stop until it's won. Then she went back and said some people criticize her because she's an elected official. All right, so when they say the 4th of July is about American freedom, remember this freedom they're referring to. Yeah, I'm shopping for Amazon. The freedom that they're referring to is to white people. This land is stolen and black peoples aren't free. See, this is the thing about critical race theory. This is true critical race theory. Reminding your children about true American history, not the one that you portrayed to us when we were coming up. Oh, Christopher Columbus, old hero, had us in there wearing the Christopher Columbus hat and all that, going to the Christopher Columbus Day parade, participating in the Christopher Columbus. Man, we just did all that foolish stuff. Black people, Native Americans of all, participating in that parade. That man brutalized the crap out of y'all. Now I got to say me because my grandmother is half black, half Native. My granddad is full ADOS. So here are the replies. You're right. We have never waved nor put the flag in our yard. Congressman, please come back to St. Louis to help Mayor Jones convince people to get vaccinated. Why would she need to do that? You folks, let me leave that alone. Stop trying to convince people to get vaccinated. You just get vaccinated. That's people's choice. They're doing everything under the sun to try to get you vaccinated. Then she gonna put not my, who is this, Carol Howard, not my representative? Stop with that lie. If she got voted in over your guy or girl, she is your representative, Miss Carol Howard. I'm your representative at St. Louis City Hall. I work where to make the vote. Man, lady, be quiet. Oh, Karen. Not Karen. Becky. All right, so more tweets. Here come, look, happy 4th of July. Yeah, it would take you to say that, Obama. All right, let's see. And let me go back up here because I think we only got a little bit of her tweets up here. We didn't get them all. Okay. I'm just going to go through a few more. Shahid Buttar for Congress. You know who that is. He ran as a Democrat under the progressive wing in California, and Nancy Pelosi them set him up and started bringing accusation against him in the fashion of Bill Cosby, and he ended up losing his race to Nancy Pelosi. But you're right, she doesn't represent white supremacists. That was to that other lady, Alderman 14th District. Black people aren't free. Your district hasn't had a white representative in over 50 years. You, a black woman, went from being a nurse to being elected to one of the highest offices in the country. How much more freedom are you looking for? Travis. Well, let's tell Travis something. Travis, freedom comes in many forms. Just because you're running in a party still don't make you free. You're still in bondage and still enslaved in a lot of areas. But because you probably never went through that, Mr. Constitutional Conservative, keep talking your talk. Nobody's listening to you. Take it behind somewhere else with that bull crap. See, these are people who, just want to hate on her. Not just black people, though. Look, folks, don't try to bring... Our fight is totally different. So to Mr. whoever Jackson is, look, let's don't get everybody fighting. Our fight is not the same. Our freedoms are not the same. Our fight for freedom are not the same. We got a common blocker, but our fights are not the same. Now, we could choose to band together to help us overcome one area and then band together to help us come over the other area. Right now, this country owes Native blacks. When I say Native black, those who got lineage to slavery here in this country. If you got lineage to slavery in another country, which a lot of black immigrants do, your fight is for that country and the people who finance for that country to be colonized. America didn't do most of the financing to the other countries, Belgium, England, and stuff like that. They the one did most of the finances, so you got to go against them. Now, for as you coming here and experiencing Jim Crow and things like that, that's another level. That's another time when we're going to fight for that. But we got to fight for the descendants of American slaves. Anyway, I'm going to get off this particular story, but just going over the replies. A lot of people were hating Cori Bush. My position is this. You know me, I don't trust no politician. They could say something good, do something good, and the next minute throw it all away and do something dumb. But on this one, Cori Bush got it right. She has it right. And Cori Bush continue to stay on that stance, but you need to start talking about reparations because none of that other stuff mean anything until that happened, because you could push for all that and it's still not going to get passed. I don't care if you got majority power in the House, Senate, and the presidency, and you're not getting much passed on behalf of black people. And you're not yelling it from the rafters on top of a mountain yourself. Don't expect AOC to do it because she's too busy trying to fight for her Latino brothers and sisters, which that's what she's supposed to do because she's representing that community. But she does represent a lot of black people too. AOC. Cori Bush, you got to go a little further. I applaud you on making that statement. I applaud you for taking heat today. I say continue to do that. Continue to push for the end of qualified immunity. Continue to push for the changing in Joe Biden crime bill. Matter of fact, you need to start getting in Joe Biden crime bill and say you need to change this because the bill you got right now ain't doing much, and we're going to talk about that soon. You be the loud voice. You be the loud voice. Your black sister got elected by a lot of black people. And a lot of those black people saw you as the best chance we have of getting true economic equality with white people. And why are we making it so plain and simple? Why are you trying to make it just about you, black people? We all need to get true equality with white people because you didn't build this country to the level that we did. And you didn't go through what we did to build it. So join us in our fight to make that happen. And then we may join, as we always do, in the fight for the other things to happen. But we have a lock focus agenda, and Cori Bush, if you want to get more of the black vote, or if you want to lose some of that black vote and be out of Congress in the next year or two, don't talk about that. Talk about that in the face of adversity. You talk about all the other things that you talk about, but you make that key message number one in your platform because your community is predominantly black. you'll start getting somewhere. You'll start winning more races. You'll get much of the black community having your back. Right now, you assume they're going to have your back because you're black and you're a black woman in Congress, and we just going to vote for anybody black because, you know, that's what we do. We vote for, yeah, I don't care about their policy. They black. They black. They black. Nah. You need to go take a look at the black agenda. It's on my Facebook page. There's a black agenda there. And that is the black agenda. People talking about, what's the black agenda? Black agenda. It's right there on my freaking page. Was it Ice Cube thing? No, Ice Cube compliments that. But he still need to add these things in his agenda with the contract for Black America. But the black agenda is on my Facebook group. Cori Bush, you need to start look at that and start implementing that. That way you get more black people, especially 45 and under, supporting you, because the 45 and under are not going to continue to vote Democrat by any means necessary. And we sure ain't voting Republican. We're going to start withholding our vote, and we're going to start bringing people from our own ranks to power. And we're going to start holding them accountable. That's what we did with you. We brought you from our ranks. We're holding you accountable. What you did today was good. But continue that same energy. And continue to fight for the people who put you in that position. It was not white progressives that put you in that position. It was mostly black progressives, black Democrats, moderate Democrats. Once you got that nomination, it was all black Democrats, majority black Democrat, as usual, that got you that position. You didn't win because all the Bernicrats supported you. That ain't had nothing to do with that. You did get some, but it's mostly the black grassroots that got you that position. Don't you ever forget it. You advocate for them more than anything in Congress because they're the one who put you there and they're the one who could take you out.